well, the mood here is actually much more romantic than I expected.
Welcome back to the AI in Practice podcast. I'm Ahmed Abaza and I'm joined with Ahmed Nabih, who is the head of services at Synapse Analytics. And the AI in Practice podcast is where we talk to experts and AI industry experts about the artificial intelligence field and how AI can be a reality in business. So, Ahmed, I'm super excited to have you today with us.
Well, as we've discussed many times in the past few days, I'm very happy to be here. Looking forward to this a lot.
And it's very weird that I'm calling you Ahmed.
That is very weird, actually. I'm not used to that. I think you can call me Nabih for the rest of the podcast.
So let me go back to Biho, because
Biho,
this is what we call you.
I think many clients will find this funny, but sure, we can go with Biho.
So Biho, as you know, we talked with our past guests on AI and how it's becoming more and more a reality in business. And you are, of course, the one person that deals with all of our clients on developing their AI strategy, pushing their AIs to market and to production. And I think you have a lot of funny stories and a lot of experience in that respect. And my first question would be, do you really think that there's this very famous statistic about that 87% of all AI never make it to production? And I'm not sure if this is, do you think this is true?
I think actually the number could be far greater than that, if I may correct, because and actually it's very funny because the issue is never a technical issue. It's never a poorly performing model. 90% of the time, actually, it boils down to a cultural issue.
Yeah.
So people fear AI.
Yeah, a poor organizational model.
It's actually more of a poorly structured organization than a poorly built model.
Yeah,
let's say that. So many times it's actually down to the operations, the company's value chain not being designed with AI in mind, or not being adapted to the fact that there is an AI model that we're ready to use.
But do you think this falls back to ownership? Because once you build the model, who owns the project? If the AI model doesn't work out, maybe the business owner would feel like they would feel to look like stupid people because they believed in AI and it didn't work out.
That's a very
again.
good point. And I think one of the things that we've learned at Synapse actually over the past 4.5 years, and as you mentioned, many funny stories later that I think we'll get into in a bit.
Yeah.
So one of the main things we've learned is that it's actually very important to design fail-safe models.
Yeah.
And that's actually very doable. So I think even us at some point in our journey, we got trapped in the accuracy and precision metrics. And we thought that those were the end of the world. We thought that an accurate and precise model is really what we need to deploy AI. But actually, over the years, we've actually found that no, there are many ways to design fail-safe models.
Yeah.
They don't need to be super accurate. They don't need to be super precise. But you just need to design the mechanisms around them to make them usable. And that's very doable. And actually, we've done that successfully in many of our recent projects.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of the cultural, know-how that needs to be out there. And people need to really stop fearing AI. So people do fear failure, and I think that's just a human nature thing. But there are definitely ways around it when it comes to AI. And I don't know what you think about that. Actually, we've never spoken about deviating from accuracy and precision. I think it's something that you kind of worry about a lot as our CEO.
Yes. So it's because this is what the clients actually focus on, and you did it actually with many of our clients. You did a great job on really educating them that accuracy is just one metric, and it's more relevant in like an academic or in class, but not in industry. Where in industry, impact is the most relevant metric that you should look at. So I love that you use the word usability. So what do you mean by usability? So when you say that the AI, the model is usable, what do you actually mean by that?
So it means that as a business, you are getting output from the model that you are able to put towards your operations that actually benefits your company, by increasing your revenue, reducing your costs, or just streamlining in general. So it's just purely a matter of getting something, an additional value from your model that you weren't getting without it. And it actually, as I said, many times it's down to just how you design the model, how you frame it, sitting down with the right stakeholders, and more importantly, just having the right culture in the company or at the client's company, to allow for that and to allow for building good AI models, pretty much.
Yeah, and so I remember this client when we were working with.
Oh dear.
Without mentioning names. So
I think our legal team might have to review this.
Yes. I hope we don't fall into any legality or any legal liabilities.
So,
but
well.
so we were sitting with them and they asked us to actually insure the model. So
yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
so
that very well, actually.
And it was coming from a very valid place because it's a demand forecasting model at the end of the day, and based on these forecasts, they will actually buy raw materials, and they will do like the production planning based on the forecasting model, and they can lose on sales opportunities, or they can overproduce products.
I think actually the funniest part about that was the way that was delivered, more so than the message. I mean, I think I remember that meeting very well, and I think there was just a lot of comedy in the air for some reason because of the way the message was delivered.
No, because I kept thinking about if I pick up my phone and call an insurance company and tell them I want you to insure my AI model. I don't think they will take it very well.
Well, I think they could charge a high premium for that.
Yeah, it's actually it might be actually a good idea. So it might be a good startup idea to insure AI models.
That's the future of insurtech, as they say.
Because for example, in one of our in many of our credit scoring use cases, sometimes the client asks us to actually insure the scoring model.
So actually, credit scoring,
to give credit insurance on the model.
I mean,
right?
credit scoring is I think something actually that deserves us to pause and talk about it for a bit. But yes, credit scoring, and it is such because there is literal money on the line.
Yeah,
you're the product that you are controlling with your model is money.
Yes,
is straight cash. So yes, I think in that sense, I don't think it still makes sense to insure your AI model, but I think that'd be the closest example or the closest use case to that. But again, actually, so back to designing failsafe models. Actually, so our first approach, or the first time we deployed failsafe models, actually was in credit scoring use case, and it was to tackle just that. Right. So right now, all of our credit scoring solutions, and I don't say it in any bragging way, they are somewhat fail-safe because they are designed in a way that really shifts the focus from the precision accuracy towards other metrics that are very useful in extending credit lines to people. And I think I think it's no secret that it's one of our most successful products. So I think it just goes to show that even when there is literal money on the line, you are able to deploy models that might not be 100% accurate or precise.
I'm feeling really excited about this AI insurance. So the idea just resonates with me.
Oh dear, this is actually very scary. So this is
here's an idea for all
of our listeners. Eyes rolling around the room.
For all of our listeners, if you want to start a startup in
I think
AI,
for the people who don't know you, they don't understand how dangerous this moment is.
Why?
Because I think for the people who do know you, understand that at moments like these, when ideas
where major changes,
where yes,
come
ideas
along
such as that come up, and then we are harassed for the following month to start working on this idea.
But actually, it's a very good sounding idea. Imagine if you have this company that performs diagnostics on any model. And based on these diagnostics, they can learn how safe is the model, how fair is the model, how accurate is the model, how impactful the model would be, and they can, build insurance policies on the model.
No, actually, all joking aside, I do think that's a very cool idea. Obviously, it's not easy to implement; it'd be very difficult, but very cool idea for a later time. I may add, please.
They can actually use Conan, our MLOps platform, to diagnose the models. Paid ad
Shameless plugging.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, they could use but I'm serious. They could use actually the Conan platform to diagnose the models, and really it can really give a lot of insight and a lot of metrics about how well the AI model is built, and then they could build the insurance policy. And whenever the model doesn't work out the way it should be, they can just the client can do can claim the insurance, and I think it could be a cool idea.
No, very good idea.
Yeah.
I think our lives are comical enough as they are now. So
Yeah.
again, I'd like to leave that for maybe a post-Synapse life, I may add.
Yeah.
And
actually, this is a great name for the company, Post Synapse Life.
yeah, post-Synapse life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Synapse Life, actually.
Post-Synapse.
This
life.
could be actually a project for Synapse. Synapse Life.
Synapse life.
It's an insurance, an AI insurance company.
I don't like this direction. We're digging very deep holes here.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sticking to credit scoring for now. We'll leave insurance for a later time. And actually, maybe a very important thing that I've been thinking about lately a lot, and maybe slightly off topic.
Yeah.
But I was sitting with Galal the other night, and we started asking ourselves the question: what does our post Synapse life look like? And I'm very curious to understand your answer.
So what will I do after Synapse? So I didn't really think that far ahead, though. There's a lot of exciting stuff in the AI field that
I think now actually we know what you're doing next. So it's Synapse Life.
Synapse
the
Life,
insurance
yes.
company.
This is this is one option. Maybe why not do it in Synapse? You can actually handle the project.
All right, on to the next topic.
So no, but in all seriousness, do you know, guys, who does the voiceover for Darth Vader? Because I have James Earl Jones. You know, James Earl Jones just
knowledgeable
retired.
crew in this room. Really
Yes.
retired.
Yeah.
So
He retired.
So the Darth Vader voiceover vacancy is open.
Yes, but here's what's interesting. They signed a contract with him that they will actually use an AI to reincarnate his voice for Darth Vader. So they wouldn't get a replacement actor. An AI will do Darth Vader voice in the next Star Wars.
See, this is the kind of cool stuff that we need to sign up for. If we had
Yes.
known about this contract, I think
you would have done the voiceover.
I would have done the voiceover.
Yeah. Luke, I'm your father. Sorry, sorry for everyone listening. So let's get back to
This is Ahmed for you guys.
So let's get back to AI and AI in the field. So you said something at the beginning that people sometimes don't trust the AI, and it's rightfully so.
Yes.
Demand forecasting, credit scoring, churn modeling. Maybe churn modeling is not as
Actually, I do want to say something slightly
Yes.
controversial here.
please.
And it points to where the lack of trust is. And it's actually very important for company owners, upper managers to hear this.
Yeah.
Very important. Because many times the upper management and the actual key stakeholders are super interested in applying AI in their businesses. However, people by nature, people that are on the ground inside the operations fear AI. People fear having their jobs replaced by AI. And actually, so I was talking with one of our closest clients recently, and he said that he was actually a victim of a real life example of this, where there were people on the ground who literally disliked our obviously success owner inside the company because he brought AI into the company.
Ooh.
Yes, and it was a very clear example with very clear repercussions. So that's why I say, or I inform business owners and upper managers that it's all about the culture. Your request for AI is heard loud and clear. However, if you don't have the key, successful layout inside your business, this is where the adoption of AI fails, and this is where you don't reap the rewards of your data. So the culture is, I cannot emphasize it enough.
Yeah.
And yes, the lack of trust in AI comes from maybe, yes, not trusting the outcome, but more so than ever, it's not trusting the effect of AI on you as an individual, you as a professional. And that's the very scary part, because here we see that actual humans are trying to defeat the artificial intelligence. And this is actually this is one of our biggest obstacles at Synapse Analytics. It's that's why the roles of project managers and consultants are actually they're I see them more as lobbyists than anything.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But then again, this can be very disengaging for a high management executive officer, for example. Do they really need to change? Because cultural change is extremely difficult to do, and it's not just about AI. It's about any new innovative initiative. It's extremely difficult to change culture. So do I really need to change my culture to be able to adopt AI?
You don't need to radically change your culture.
Yeah.
But you do need to steer it in the right direction, for sure. It needs steering, and business owners, executives need to know that there is some onus on them to do that. You do need to, and it's actually not that hard. I don't mean to make a huge task or initiative out of it. You just need to ensure that your operation understands that the AI is here to help them. And it's more of an HR matter. You need to design job roles, KPIs of your organization bottom up, to ensure that it is aligned with AI and not battled by AI. So it's not a difficult task, but yes, there is a slight change that needs to happen. And like anything, it happens gradually. You don't need to take sudden action. It's something that you can harvest slowly but surely, and you don't have to reap the full rewards right away. But as long as you're inching closer every day, this is the way we do it. This is the way we do it at Synapse, by the way. We never transform a company to adopt AI fully the day of deployment. No, it's always very gradual. It's always we've heard these terms a lot before: coverage. We don't cover your product portfolios 100% of them right away. We don't cover 100% of your customers right away for credit scoring. We take it slowly, and we make sure that the change management is there to ensure the success of what we're doing.
Yeah. So since we're talking about the changes that need to happen, I'm always curious about the obstacles that get AI projects up and running. I think one of those obstacles is that, again, with the senior management, sometimes they don't trust that they have the data, or they don't trust their teams, or they don't trust that this can actually happen to them. So sometimes you get a very, very excited, any business line manager who goes up to the management and is very excited about the project, and then they just say, we had this in plan for the past few years, and it's not going to work out.
That happens in many of the cases that we see.
So how do you convey them to actually get their buy-in for the project?
Well, thankfully, again, over the past 4.5 years, we've I don't want to say we've seen it all, but we've dealt with very hard situations.
Yeah.
So we're able to draw on real life examples and cases where actually situations were much worse than what the client currently has in place, and we're able to really show them that yes, we were able to create success out of the situation that they have at hand. As a company, we're also very comfortable with guiding people through the change. We're not asking them for a yes decision right away. We as a company, we're almost too comfortable with taking it slowly with customers, almost holding their hands and babysitting them through the AI adoption process. So we do do a lot of just educational work, and I don't mean it in that we're better and we're here to educate, but we just do it in kind of an eye-opening way. We're there to actually show them that it can be done, and we do take small parts of the data, show them a little bit of output, and then we grow it from there. So we do have that approach, and I think it's been going very well for us. It's not super scalable. We do want to make sure that the companies then understand that or trust that the AI can actually be applied and it's there to help. But it's a slow process. Maybe the market doesn't change as fast as you want it to.
Yeah. So one of the things is that when AI is done right, and we've seen this, it actually can create exponential operational effectiveness and operational scalability. Though sometimes this is extremely hard for management to believe in, and sometimes they always are very concerned about the impact. And impact is not really something that you can because AI is like cooking for.
Okay.
I'm not hungry. I just, it's just, the data are like ingredients, and basically the data scientist is the cook, and you don't really know how it's going to taste like.
After you're done.
After I'm done.
What
yes,
kind of cook are you, dude? Are you that unpredictable as a cook?
Yeah, you have to try one of my sandwiches.
Yeah.
So
They probably start off with salads, huh?
yes. I actually do great. I cook great salads.
So is that your post Synapse world? Are you
Yeah,
are you opening
I'm
up
going
a
to be a
salad
cook.
Salad shop?
Yeah.
You haven't asked me what my post Synapse world looks like, and I'm waiting for that question because my answer.
I don't care. No.
Great to
So
know.
please, what does your world look like after Synapse?
Well, number one, I am deleting your number from my phone book. I'm
Okay.
kidding. I'm not.
Because you're going to live with me.
Yes. I'll be a hermit in this room if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. It's
no, actually, I was thinking of taking up flight attendance. So I've always dreamed of being a flight attendant, and for some reason I'm having a huge inclination to pursue that career.
Yeah.
And I think
it suits you, by the way.
Yeah, I see it as very soothing.
Yeah.
I don't think my current job gives me a lot
No,
of.
but in all seriousness, you really, you create great relationships with our clients, and I think it's about making your clients happy.
Yes,
so
exactly.
works,
No,
yeah.
I do really enjoy working in services in general.
Yeah.
But I dislike sometimes the stress of it.
Meat or chicken or meat?
Yeah, chicken or fish. Maybe I'm a business class.
Fish, yes.
flight attendant.
Yes. You should
Wine or
definitely be a
champagne?
business class.
That's the
Yeah.
right question.
And you can create a network, and you can sell them AI again.
I
and
think
you can go back to being an AI consultant, and it's it's a
it's
vicious
a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, you can
I'll
never
text
get
you
out
one
of
day
Synapse.
and tell
you can never get out
Ahmed,
of Synapse.
I know we haven't spoken in 3 months, but I just landed a new client in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So maybe you'll be getting one of those texts.
That's the dream.
That is the dream.
So So again to the obstacles to the obstacles part, the AI obstacles part. So sometimes impact is very hard to basically size, in the project before you build the model and so on. So how can managers believe in AI without really sizing up enough impact, or get a really concrete idea of the impact that's going to happen?
So actually, I was reflecting about this a lot lately. So as you know, and as we mentioned, one of our biggest successful products is our fintech products, and I think the reason why is because, again, the currency at hand is money. The goods are money. So here the impact is very measurable.
Yeah.
You're able to translate AI output into straight dollar value. So here it's very simple, especially when it comes to something like credit scoring, and SME scoring and so on and so forth. SME scoring, by the way, being one of the very, very exciting things that we're working on. I'm sure you're aware of that. Unfortunately, you are aware of that. You got the memo. But yes, in that case, it is very measurable. So it becomes very tricky when the farther you are away from the money, right? So that's how we see it. So imagine your AI and your value chain. When it comes to fintech, the AI is very close to where the money is. The farther the AI moves away, the less measurable it is. So I'm sure maybe our viewers are aware of our Ask a Vision products. These are our vision products that are in malls. And that they really attach to any camera just to understand, how many customers are dwelling, how many customers are moving, how many customers are entering and exiting shops. So if you think of that, here it becomes very hard to measure the impact of AI because you're literally so distant from where the money is. So literally and figuratively, because usually we work with POS data, and that's right. That's where the customer is buying. But here you're in a camera measuring footfall of people walking into shops who might not even buy products in that shop, who might just be window shoppers, who might be in groups of 3 and one person buys, something that's very small. So here it becomes very tricky. As our in services, at least, we kind of work in the middle zone. So we are able to always work with transactional data. And as you know, we have a function that's dedicated purely for impact. So the whole purpose of that function is to really diminish the gap between the output of the AI model and the top lines or costs of the companies we're working with. So, for example, one of our very good use cases are recommendation engines.
Yeah.
I think Netflix should better watch out because I think we are competing for the
With
best
Netflix?
recommendation. Yes.
Yeah. They,
And-
they have like $150 million budget for the recommendation engine. So
See, this is why we're a great company.
yes,
We're able to do it with much less than that.
much less. Yeah.
Not to give any numbers away. But yes, so recommendation engines very easy, or we made it very easy to measure success because you push content to people and you literally measure the success rate. Obviously, you need to do some tricky A/B testing, to ensure that this customer wasn't going to come whether you push the content or not. But at the end of the day, we do translate that into dollar value of the transactions and also down the line dollar value of retaining that customer. So we do usually work in zones where you are with a few assumptions able to measure the impact of your model.
So for transactional data, so I think what you're saying is that sometimes using transactional data to build AIs are more concrete than using AI in non-transactional data types. So
Yes.
but for Ask a Vision, I was talking with Mohammed Abaza, and he gave me this great.
When is Muhammad coming on the podcast? That's an episode I'm very excited
we should get him on the he's on every podcast episode.
Okay.
He does the editing and he's always with us in the room, and
he's always in the room.
He's always in the room, and he keeps coaching me because I ask questions in like 4 minutes or more, and he always tells me, man, please keep it down to less than 10 seconds.
It's always nice to have Muhammad Abbas on the room.
I hope that I'm abiding by this rule in this podcast. in this
given
episode.
his given his arm motions, you're not, but that's fine.
I can. Yeah. Anyways, so back to Ask a Vision. The Ask a Vision example. So I was talking again with Mohammed Abaza, and he told me that what Ask a Vision actually does, it treats your retail store like a website, because at the end of the day, it's all about traffic and conversions being the customer buying the product, and this can provide a lot. It requires a bit of more imagination. So if you have like a very accurate number of your visitors daily, and then you can correlate this with the sales, and you can correlate this with the shelving of your products, your in-store experience. Maybe you can try it with different music, and you can try it with different ads and pamphlets and so on, and
I fully agree.
happens.
No,
So
I fully
it's,
agree, and I think that's a very good angle from Mohammed Abaza. I think him working on our growth on website have changed his perspective or framed his perspective. But no, I think actually that's maybe actually with that input we can modify the product slightly to reflect that, because we do have a lot of customers asking about what is my in-store conversion rate. So I think that'd be something very good for them to see. But yes, you are able to measure things, but then the question becomes, how do I measure the impact of the decisions that I've made based on what Ask a Vision has given me? That's the question to answer.
So it's again, it's like exactly managing a website. So if the traffic increases or the traffic stays the same, but you've increased your conversions, you've increased your basket sizes.
Yeah, but how? So what again? And maybe
so that's
challenge
actually
you a lot.
great
But so
exercise.
what decision? You look at Ask a Vision.
Yeah.
You see the numbers.
Yes.
You take what decision that you measure the impact of based on the numbers that you see.
So maybe imagining a customer journey inside the store that is different from what it is right now, and changing the shelving and the planograms of your product and the visibility of the different products, and then you can you can really control your experiments, and then you can look at the conversions, and you can look at how it's increasing or decreasing. Maybe even like changing the music. If you have different type of music running in the store, and maybe you can see if the music actually so this is like a very psychological experiment that you can do with your clients.
Very cool. That's true, actually. No, that's very true. I mean, here the statistical significance of the experiments becomes a bit tricky, but yes,
it's not tricky, because if you can do your hypothesis right, and you can do, you can measure the A/B tests,
Yes,
basically,
exactly,
and the p-values,
exactly.
and all of that. You can actually create some conclusive insights from using Askavision. But
And actually, and you know what? So one of the biggest problems, or one of the big problems in AI adoption, is we see in a lot of clients, we provide them the right tools. So take Askavision, for example, provides them immense insight and measurement, but they lack the individual to look at it on a daily basis and take actions such as the ones you mentioned.
We give them the Ferrari, but not Michael Schumacher.
Exactly.
His name is Michael, right? His first name is Michael.
His name is Michael. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
His son is also a current race driver. I'm not sure if you knew. Yes.
His name is Michael as well, or Michael Jr.
No, I don't think his name is Michael.
So, guys, do you know who Michael Schumacher's son's name? Schumacher Jr.
Ryan with the save. All right, Schumacher Jr.
That's our creative
So
director.
yes, we don't give them. we do not give them. Actually, Michael Schumacher is not in great shape. Mick.
Not Mike.
No, Michael is not in great shape at the moment. So Mick is. We don't give them. Mick
So his
Schumacher.
name is Mick, not Mike.
No, Mick.
So Mick Michael.
Well, middle names in Germany are not given by your father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
you don't adopt your father's middle name.
So
Is this a
whose name
cultural
do I
shock?
adopt?
You get chosen a middle name. Your family chooses a middle name for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Maybe you could be Ahmed Stefan Abaza in a different life.
Ahmed Stefan.
Yeah.
It sounds like I don't want to divert because I had a lot of coaching on that matter. So please,
Okay.
let's go back.
So yes, we do not give them the Mick Schumacher,
Yeah.
and it becomes very challenging because they have the Ferrari in their garage, but they're not really able to take it to the racetrack, sometimes we place the onus or duty on ourselves.
But as that, and I was going to say that's basically what you do with them.
Yes. But at the end of the day, we can only guide, right? We're not there to take decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions need owners.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, at some point the ownership needs to be transferred to within the company.
Yes.
And that's a huge challenge for us because, again, yes, that's what we're there for. But also we do want to, scale to the hundreds of thousands of businesses to serve around the world, right? So,
so you cannot do that for every client. But maybe this comes back to the product design. So maybe in the product design, we have to make it as easy as possible to use it without having any statistics.
Yes, I agree with you. The usability needs to be there.
Usability.
Yeah. I think if I were to summarize this podcast in a word, it could be
no, actually not summarize the podcast. I think to summarize the state of AI,
yes,
it's usability. People, I think, are struggling with the usability of AI because AI is code, is a function basically that's part of your technology environment. And it's sometimes you don't really know how to make use of it in the best way possible. So it's
but yes, it is a challenge when it comes to our Askavision product. But
I mean in all AI cases, not just Askavision.
So yes, but the beautiful thing, or the thing that we as the services team have most fun and success with, is realizing, or it's about framing the problem from the start. So the better job you do in the framing of the job, or framing the expectations that you have from the AI model, the more success you'll have in having a usable model. Actually, one of the major lessons learned over the past bit as well is the ease of integration of the model is critical. So we've learned that for proper adoption and usability, your model needs to be, I don't want to say seamlessly, it needs to be better than seamlessly integrated in the organization, as in literal zero human interaction. The slightest bit of human interaction, humans are terrible creatures. uh, including ourselves.
Yeah.
They lead
Now
to
we know why
failure.
he works in AI.
Yes, I much prefer dealing with machines. No, but they
Mm.
are, and they're not terrible because they're fundamentally terrible. But
Mm.
humans get sidetracked.
They're more
Humans
error prone.
error prone.
Yeah.
Humans go on vacation. Humans they get
Tired, they
sidetracked.
get bored.
They
Yeah.
get bored. Humans they're fundamentally not consistent creatures. Machines are. So if you integrate your data science and your model to actually have seamless input into your operation, this is where we see flying success. And this people fear that, right? People want to control their AI model. They want to have a human layer to say, okay, I want the human to review the results of the AI model. But again, this is where the importance of designing fail-safe models comes in, and models that, yes, you can have humans control them through literal control panels and dashboards, but once they're controlled and they have guidelines set for them, they're autonomous.
Yeah.
And this is something that we've discovered, and I think having discovered that we were having a much better time integrating AI in organizations that before we thought might not be able to adopt AI.
Yeah. So back to the I'm sorry. Excuse me. I remember one of the use cases where we were basically predicting merchant churn, and I remember that the AI usually gave the insight, but the salespeople from this company didn't actually have enough time to go and save the merchant.
Yes.
So this is a usability thing that you need to really understand.
Actually, this
And-
is a great example of
Yeah.
what I was mentioning. So this is where the framing of the problem or the expected output really matters, right? Because yes, we do want to save churn, but I think one of the most missing pieces of information that we did not take into account initially, but we did later, is okay. So how much time do we have to minimize churn, and what's our capacity to visit our merchants? Do we have the capacity to visit 100 merchants a day? Is it 10 merchants a day? I don't think initially we had accounted for that, and I think that really limited the usability of the model. And it actually once it was taken into account, it became much more usable. So
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
agree. That's one of the major parts, and I think it all comes down to your trying to be as detailed as possible in the initial framing of the expected output. Now the tricky thing is that sometimes when you're sitting at the table kicking off a project, you're not sure of the exact output of the model, because AI again is very experimental.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes, when you're working on your model and down the line, you discover that actually you're able to provide a much cooler and much more beneficial output before you even finish the project. Sometimes while you're working and you talk to more business stakeholders, you shift the scope a bit. You shift the expected outcome. You discover key pieces of information, such as your merchant per day limitation, that makes you kind of steer in a slightly different direction. So it's kind of a sweet spot, I have to say. You can't be very rigid while framing the output, but it has to be sound enough to begin working, and then leave a bit of room as you go for modifications.
Yeah. So I can see from my peripheral vision that I think we're out of time.
Are we? That's very
Yeah.
sad.
So let me ask you one last question. I ask it to every guest on the podcast. What are you most excited about in the field of AI right now?
I think right now, I might even this week I might be a bit biased. However, I am super excited about our fintech realm.
Yeah.
I'm excited about both consumer finance and SME lending.
Yeah.
I think these two products, if we sit down here again in this room a year from now, we'll find that they are flying. I'm actually pretty confident of that.
Yeah.
So very excited to get going on that. Very excited to hit the market when they least expect it, especially when it comes to the SME scoring portion.
Very exciting indeed. And I think you used the word flying because of your flight attendant
I think
ambitions.
I am preluding to
your next life.
my career shift
Yeah.
in the post-Synapse world.
No,
yes.
we wish you the best of luck. In
We
the
wish you a
skies.
pleasant flight.
We wish you a pleasant flight, and hope you choose Egypt Air in your next one.
Egypt there, yes.
Ahmed Nabih, this was an absolute pleasure. I think this is definitely one of many.
I think
First of many. The first of many.
Okay.
And yeah, see you on the next one.
Well, I've had a great time. Thank you, Ahmed and crew.
Yeah, and crew.